Welcome to the Coach Stretch Show.
What up, what up, what up? It is your man, Coach Stretch, and we are live. We got Big Dog, Statman AJT. We are all in the building. Welcome, fellas. Welcome.
Glad to be here, man. Let's work.
There we go.
Let's do it, bro.
All right. Tonight, we got a very, very special guest, man. We got a Hampton Roads legend, PD legend. This individual has scored over 1,800 points, over 800 rebounds, has over 250 blocks. He was top 30 in the country. He is the two-time player of the year for the PD, and he played on Boost 17U for all 4 years in high school, and he started every year. Please welcome the legend, the best big to ever come out of the Peninsula District, Mr. Elton Brown.
Man, thank you for having me, man. Thank you. I like that introduction. That was nice. That was nice. I love it.
Hey, look, you know, I was about to go all the way back to Booker T. Washington's own. Hey, look, we go all the way back to Booker T. Washington, man.
That's a long time, man.
That is a long time, man. That was a long stretch, man.
When you said I was clumsy, you hit it on the head. I tell you that much.
Listen, man. We was clumsy. Like, if you was big and played basketball, man, like it's just the coordination wasn't there, man. We didn't have none of the stuff that we have access to now. Yeah, we were just out there trying to figure it out on your own, outside somewhere, literally trying to figure it out on your own. So, like I said, man, I am honored to have you on our show and to just see your maturation and growth throughout the years. Like I said, man, I am beyond proud of you and your career, man. Absolutely proud of you, man. So you did one hell of a job playing basketball, man. Fellas, y'all got any shout outs before we get started?
Go ahead, Stat. Shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to my barber, Marks at Next Level. Mom, Bree, love you. Giving honor to God for allowing us to have this platform. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And just all the people who subscribe, like, watch, share. Please continue to do so. We got a Peninsula District legend in the building. Let's show him some love.
Big Dog.
Yeah. Can I be able to see the chat? Because I want to see what people are saying too.
You can see the comments.
It's gonna come up. Do I need to push chat?
And I'll relay them to you too, Elton. We're gonna all relay them to you. Yep.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah. All questions, all that stuff. We'll relay them straight to you.
We'll relay them straight to you. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Big Dog. Any shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to my daughters Taylor, Skylar, Kayla, and my grandbaby Alea and my niece Nia. And shout out to El, man. You could be doing anything else right now, bro, but you're here with us, man. So
thank you, man.
Much respect. I appreciate that.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. All right, man. We'll go ahead and jump straight into this, man. Let's talk about these early days, man. Tell us how you got started playing basketball. Tell me how you fell in love with the game of hoops, man. Let's start from the beginning, man.
Man, it started, but people don't know I played tennis before I even played basketball.
Yes, avid.
I played
in Achievable Dream.
Achievable Dream.
Yes, sir.
I was the first group with the blue team.
Yes, sir.
I played tennis and grew. Eventually, me and the program separate, split ways. And at that point, I went from 5'10" to 6'4" in one summer.
Yeah.
So. At that point, everybody was like, "Hey, you need to play basketball. And I took a liking to it. Just watching all the other, the Tim Duncans and the Hakeem Olajuwons, and I saw how good they were just watching the game, and I was like, man, this is something I want to do and something I think I could be good at. And it just pushed me to be motivated to keep going until I got to the top level.
Yeah. I remember you guys leaving school early to go to the Achievable Dream Center
Yes, memories there.
Memories right there, man.
Yes.
Shout out to Robinson brothers, man, Jamel and Jock.
Yes, my guys. Yes.
Y'all jugglers used to wear them blue sweatsuits.
It didn't matter if it was 90 degrees outside.
Yes, sir.
We wear sweatsuits.
Shout out Achievable Dream, man.
Yes. Big shout out to Achievable Dream, Coach Jackson, all you guys out there, man. Shout out to y'all.
All right, so let's jump ahead, man. So you end up this. What was it? A selection? Did you have a choice on what high school you was gonna go to? Because Booker T was a magnet program, so you could have chose any school in the city, if I'm not mistaken. How'd you end up choosing Warwick?
Again, me and the Achievable Dream had to split ways.
Right.
So when being that I had to split ways with them, at that point, it's basically I'm a free agent. Right. It's basically on where I live. At that time, I was living on 9th Street, Taylor Avenue. Shout out to everybody on 9th Street, Taylor. So I had to go to Warwick, but it's a funny story. People don't know. I was trying to go to Heritage. Right. Because it was a new school at that time. Right. And I wanted to go there bad, but here's the trick. I got cut. They didn't play me in Summer League. So I got so mad at them in Summer League, I said, I'm not going to Heritage. I was like, they ain't even playing me. They didn't even give me a chance. Yep. And I just happened to just go to Warwick because of my actual zone.
Yeah. I think me, you, and Wayne all went out there for that Summer League joint. That summer. And I think they only kept Wayne.
They did.
They only kept Wayne.
I was like, I ain't going here.
But Wayne was crazy though in middle school though. Like Wayne was dunking in like the 6th, 7th grade, man. Wayne was insane.
He was left-handed. He was left-handed too.
Yeah. Wayne was crazy, man.
Shout out to Wayne.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now I was just gonna say, so when you played against Heritage, did that give you like extra motivation? Did you try to go harder at them because they did you dirty in your mind?
I would not honestly, no, because I just looked at it as they was just their loss. Okay. And I was like, I'm gonna treat them like, because if you try to make it personal, sometimes it backfires on you. You know what I mean? And a lot of those guys I know, and we're good friends. So at the end of the day, for me, it was just like, I'm gonna come in here, do what I do every night, and then I can have bragging rights next time I see them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I looked at it as the same. No animosity toward them.
Yeah. Well, Heritage been fucking up a long time. Why
you say that, man? Go ahead. Why you do that?
He gotta say what he gotta say.
Is it not true?
Hey,
I tell no lie.
Yeah.
You cut the best big to ever walk in the PD.
Yeah. And we're going to get to the Peninsula District stuff later for sure, because we're looking forward to your thoughts on that. I did want to ask while at Warwick, Ben Moore, Coach Ben Moore, rest in peace. He was a Peninsula District staple in the Newport News community. He's a good man. What was it like playing for him? Like what lessons did he kind of impart on you in your journey to be a better person, better basketball player? How did he help?
Coach Moore was the one who actually discovered me. Like when it comes to like the high school level, when like the transition from middle school to high school, like I said, me and Achievable Dream split ways, Heritage cut me. Coach Moore's found me actually hanging out on the corner one day just chilling. And it was meant. It was like God way of saying y'all two need to be playing together, coaching, And he like, man, why are you out here, talking to me? And I'm, we going back and forth, dialogue. He said, look, you going to work, you need to try for the team. You try JV, whatever. I was like, all right. And eventually I ended up trying it. Long story short is Coach Moore for me is the reason I'm here.
Yeah.
And any accomplishment that I ever got or any accolade that I got is because of him. Yeah. He gave me the platform not only to do what I did in the Peninsula District, but to the next level of college, and then even in a pro level where I always would call him and say, Coach, what do you think I need to work on? What I need? And he would never lie to me. He just kept it all the way honest with me. So when I say Coach Moore, it's like, that's like a father to me, It's no Elton without, there's no Coach Moore. There was no Elton without Coach Moore, period.
Yeah.
That's it.
I have a question. So
I'm
sorry.
I
just got a question. So when you you mentioned tennis and you 5'10" to 6'4", and I'm pretty sure there were some growing pains trying to, I guess, learn the game of basketball and find your niche. When did you realize on that basketball court, yeah, I'm a problem. I'm nice. When did you, or did you always just remain humble?
No, I wasn't humble, and that's we'll get to that. I won't humble. No.
That's
in
what
high
it is,
school,
bro.
I wasn't, and I'm being honest.
Right.
And I'm pretty
Absolutely.
sure if somebody watching, people watching, they're gonna be like, he's not lying. I think I didn't think I was always good, like when I first started. No, but once I got to like my sophomore year, going into my junior year, after I played A.A.U, I was like, oh, I'm a problem. I was like, I'm nice. Like I got a chance to go to the college level, and I can go to the NBA level because I'm hearing what scouts are saying to me. So that was when I knew. I was like, I got a gift in my mind. You know, I was like, I think I can do something with this talent.
Follow-up question real quick. So when you went into a game, like, was there any particular matchup that gave you fits, or you just know, like, there's another night at the office, I'm gonna get my 25 and 15 or 29 and 16, another day at the office for Elton Brown. Like, was there any matchup out there to say, you know what, I don't know, like,
you know, it's this goes. Hey, so shout out to my homeboy Matt Towle from Gloucester. He was the hardest guy. He made it so hard for me to score.
Okay.
Every time I would go to
that.
Listen to what I'm telling y'all. Every time we had to play Gloucester, I was like, I'm not gonna get my average, to be honest, or I'm gonna get mad and I'm gonna get kicked out the game. It was one of those two. When every time, because Gloucester was a hard-nosed defensive team down low, anchored by Matt Towle. He was anchoring that team, and he was like a Bill Lambier in the Peninsula District. He was just like physical, tough, just banging, just nonstop. He didn't care I was Elton Brown. He like, I don't care. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna foul him, or I'm gonna block his shot. I'm gonna pull him down.
Okay.
He was, it was different. He was my toughest matchup.
So you guys didn't expect to say that?
No. Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a name in mind that I thought, but okay.
Nobody else.
Who was you gonna say?
P. Mike. Or Johnny. Not saying that you know, I'm just saying I thought that would have been.
Shout out to Paul and Johnny. Good two to me, great big men in the Peninsula District. I mean, love to watch them. You know what I'm saying? They were older than me, and I got a chance to watch them to see their game. So shout out to them. But no.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
I love
not.
it. I love it.
We'll talk about
he said that. I was like,
why. We'll talk about why later.
Okay.
I respect both of them. It's all respectfully.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
Another question. Which year do you think was your best year? Because in doing this research, right, I honestly thought that your junior year might have been better. And you mentioned how you made the leap mentally, like when you went to A.A.U here in the Scouts. So which year you think was better for you, your junior year or your senior year?
Man, that's a good question there. Man, I'm gonna say that's a tough one. That I'm gonna do a 1A, 1B. That's how close it is.
Okay.
My senior year was my best year, but my junior year, it was crazy. But my senior year, I felt, because by the time my senior year came, in my mind mentally, couldn't nobody guard me. I was going out there to get my numbers because I knew I was going to get them. I was like, I'm going to get 30 or better. That's how I came into the game. I'm like, I'm going to get 30 or better. I need to go to college. So as my senior, I'm like, I'm thinking about college already. I'm not even thinking about the district at this time, honestly. I'm like, man, I committed to UVA. I'm going to the ACC. I got to work on my game. I got to get better. So I'm trying to kill everybody my senior year. So, and statistically, it just shows. I mean, you got to be honest. It was my senior year.
I was gonna say, like, Your senior year, to me, you showed the most. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, man. But you was shooting threes. You was dribbling the rock. Like you was crossing dudes over. Like it was literally nothing that anybody could do to stop you. But your junior year was like you was a man on a mission, and like you played with so much force and velocity.
It felt different. Like you. I'm not a big intangible person, but it felt like just watching you were more focused and driven on the court your junior year. That's why I personally thought it was your junior year.
Absolutely. And what you're saying is right, but you gotta understand mentally, yes, because mentally I'm trying to get the school that I want to go to.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to junior. I committed in my senior year.
Right.
So as you're saying, you're right. It seems like I'm playing more because I feel like I have something to prove. Because I'm like, all right, I want the Duke, the Carolina, Virginias, Florida State Temples to come at me. My senior year, I'm already committed to UVA. So now I'm still driven, but I'm driven in a different way that some others might think I should be driven. You got to think. You got to be in my seat to see what I'm driven for. I'm driving. My junior year, I'm trying to get to these schools. My senior year, I'm trying to get to the ACC. So now it's two different driven situations. That's why I say at the end of the day, my senior year was the best year.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Greatest
shout out Rat, man. Shout out Rat's all in the comments, man. He said your senior year, because he knew where you was going as a singer. He said, but you was the most poised your senior year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was more like I got to get ready for the ACC. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I got to learn how to play on a whole other level. I'm trying to get ready to play against Duke and Cameron Stadium, man, with the Dean Center. You know what I'm saying? Carolina. So I'm not thinking about playing at Kickerton or something like that, or Phoebus or anything like that. No school, Hampton. It didn't matter. Yeah.
What's up, Brad?
What were some of the tougher places in high school as a high school player? Some of the tougher places, because you mentioned playing in Hampton, Kickerton, whatever. What were some of the toughest places to play in besides Gloucester? We know that's the toughest matchup, but we talking about walking inside the building. What were some of the toughest places that you played in the PD?
I'm gonna say this. I'll say Bethel.
Okay.
And Bethel, the reason why was they had more than just one solid big. They can bring one off the bench and all that. And so the atmosphere there for me was like almost draining mentally because they had a crowd. I mean, I remember having signs saying Doodoo Brown with my jersey number on there, and they just steady just screaming, and it was just mentally. I'm like, gosh, now I got to go against the Reggie Proctors, the Brian Scotts, the BJs. They had a rotation, and it was just like wearing down. It's like, gosh, most schools they had like just one big, right? And the person coming off the bench is 6'2".
Right.
It's like,
nowhere near, right? Nowhere near, right?
So I'll say the hardest school for me was Bethel because of their it's just like so small to me. I don't know what it was. It was just I ain't like it. Yeah, I ain't like it.
I have just a quick question. So, with all the accomplishments that you had in high school, were there any like regrets in high school? Anything that you say I didn't finish that task? Any regrets? In high school.
My biggest regret in high school was I got kicked out of a game when the McDonald's All-American Committee was there. So, and I didn't just get kicked out. Like I threw chairs. I'm kicking Gatorade bottles. I'm throwing, and it's like I put on a scene.
Can you explain why? What happened? Do you remember that moment? Like what happened?
I got into it with just being frustrated, and then somebody maybe said something to me on the bench. I was, like I said, back then you couldn't tell me anything, right? And I'm just being honest. So I lost it, and I remember after I calmed down, I'm like, that goes the McDonald's game. But people don't understand. They had asked me to be a replacement for Wayne Simeon because he broke his shoulder.
From Kansas, Wayne Simeon?
From Kansas, yes. Yep. And people don't know. I was supposed to be the replacement since I was originally supposed to be on the team.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But Boo Williams was so great, he got into a point where I could have been the replacement. I was so prideful. I'm like, I'm not being a replacement.
Oh,
I'd rather just be in the Jordan, because I played in the Jordan All-American, and then I played in the Virginia High School All-American.
right.
I mean, just high school.
Right.
So now that I think about it, I'm like, I should have just been a replacement.
Right.
Because that's the only reason why, if anybody want to know why I ain't make it, that's why. It wasn't because they ain't picked me. I was already on the team. I just got kicked out. And then I wasn't a replacement. So that's on me. I regret that.
Did you know it at that moment, though, when you got kicked out? Damn, I messed up. Did you know it at that very moment?
As soon as I sat back down, I realized, like, and then what's so crazy was I just looked up like halfway and I could see them walking down. Go ahead and leave.
Oh man, that's gotta be a bad feeling. Like when you see them walking, that's crazy.
That's what I regret.
Wow.
That's what I regret right there.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Well, let's talk. Since you mentioned Boo Williams, let's talk about your Boo Williams days. You started all 4 years on Boo Williams' 17U team. Let's talk about that hardware. Let's talk about that hardware right there. Let's walk down memory lane on that Boo team.
I'm trying to because when we looking at, and I know we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to it. But when we talk about the top 10, we ain't saying a player that we talk about a lot of accolades from other players, but we forget a lot of other players that's on that top 10. A lot of other players that got accolades that's equal, if not better, than some people in the top 10. With these two big boys right here are the National Player of the Year in A.A.U, 2-time back-to-back national champion. MVP.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So you gotta talk your shit, dog.
Yes, sir.
I mean, because this is, but I've been humble for a lot of years.
Yeah.
From the time I played, as far as going to college, to being a professional, to retirement.
Yeah.
And you have accolades, and you hear people praising other players, and it's like praises to them, because I think everybody in that top 10 deserves to be in the top 10. Maybe I'd say about 7. And we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, we getting spicy.
But look, at the end of the day, like I said, this is all my opinion.
Right. All love.
All love, respectfully, because I think all the 25 of these players are good. Yeah. And there's some other players that should be up there that's not in the top 25, but you know what I mean? Like, we praise one particular thing or one or two people, but we forget there's people out there who doing this that hasn't been on the top level that you can be in high school. Not the Peninsula, we ain't talking about the back-to-back district MVP.
Yeah. That's national. That's national right there. That's small potatoes talking about that PD. When you talking about them big boys right there.
So
that's all I'm saying. Just be fair. It'd be a lot of bias.
Oh yeah.
That I don't like. Yeah. Don't be biased. Don't just because this is my homeboy or this is my friend or my girlfriend or my boyfriend.
Yeah.
The black and white never lie.
Yeah. The numbers don't lie.
These things like this don't lie.
So here's the thing then. So I just met Elton, and I didn't know that, but people that lived in the PD knew that. So my question is, for the viewers that are looking at the show, why was Elton number 8?
Yeah,
that's the question. Why?
That's what I'm saying. It'd be biased.
Why do you think you felt it number 8?
I know why. I know why. Please. Because number one, I went to Warwick. I don't have a machine like Hampton or Phoebus behind me.
Right.
Or Bethel like that. I don't have that. Warwick, when I got to Warwick the year before, I don't even know our record, but it wasn't a good record.
Right.
You know? So you never heard of nobody come through Warwick like that. You see what I'm saying? So people not really paying attention, so they don't have that media machine and the connections at that time to go. If I go to Hampton, I'll probably be number 1 on this list.
That's actually a
really good point.
That's
If I go to
actually
Hampton High School, I'm number 1 on this list right here. So you can't argue stats. I don't care if whatever. You can't argue black and white.
Yeah. Well, I got a question about that. Now, why do you think it's like that, the discrepancy between Newport News and Hampton Public Schools when it comes to acknowledgement and awards and stuff like that? Like, because, I coached at Mentorship and I also coached at Hampton. And all the awards get pumped through Hampton. All of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think, we just look at the history of Hampton alone. I think it's just a city that's, when you compare it to Newport News and Hampton, I think Hampton has more to offer for political standpoints. You see what I'm saying? When you're dealing with Newport News, most of the kids that's getting Heritage Award, we live downtown.
Right.
When you live in Hampton, it's a better situation, similar when I'm talking about like to compare to like a downtown Newport News. You understand what I'm saying? Politically, that's what I'm saying. So I just think Hampton just has the history, and it doesn't help that. They were good. They were good.
And I'm gonna tell you, man. You look at back in the day where we had what was that, Channel 48 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But it was always a Hampton school on. Like it was never a Menchville Ward game it was always a Hampton school going on.
That is true. That is true.
You get the reporters, the game of the week is always somewhere in the city of Hampton.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Because it could generate better because Hampton it just makes more sense because it has more to offer than Newport News. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have said that though. The city of Hampton is firmly behind their athletics in all sports. Firmly behind their athletics, where Newport News likes to stand on, education here and there, but you're not giving the same push, man. Everybody ain't gonna be on the dean's list. Some of these guys. And some of these athletes can do both, but you'll never know it because the city of Newport News does not push their athletic programs. They don't push them.
Shout out to Rico, man. He said based on the PD ranking, he says definitely a homeboy bias. So it's kind of back up what you said, Elton, earlier.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
What's up, cuz?
Yeah. Now let's talk about how'd you get to the decision of going and being a UVA man?
Man,
let's talk about recruitment. Take us down the recruitment.
Why not Duke? That's my favorite college team. Why not Duke?
Well, I'm gonna touch up on that. So, what's so crazy? My sophomore year, I averaged 22, 23, 10, and 5, 4.5, right? Assists. And I didn't get one college letter. I got a college letter from Barton University.
Get out of here.
Carolina. That was my first letter ever. Right. And I realized, I'm like, man, I led the district in scoring. Eventually we know that A.A.U matters.
Right.
It matters. Not the PD matters clearly, but it doesn't matter when it's trying to get to the next level.
Right.
So my whole recruiting process, it was so crazy because it went from that year not having but one college contact me to after that summer, after I played with Boo Williams that summer, that next year, every day I got at least 50 letters.
Wow.
Each day. Coach Moore come down the hallway with he had a little envelope, rest in peace, man. I miss that guy. He got a little envelope. He coming down the hallway. Look what you got here. Look at this.
That's his voice too, though. That's his voice too.
Look at this. He just pulling out college. He said, after school, we'll look at it. We focus on school right now. Go, like that. So it was like from one letter to that, it's like, man, like that's motivation. Remember I told you, I said, now I want to play to try to get to these colleges.
Right.
I'm like, man, I can do it. So I'm getting I'm playing A.A.U. I'm seeing Coach K. I'm seeing Roy Williams. I'm seeing John Chaney, Bill Self. They all sit in front side of our games like this, watching. So I'm seeing these guys, and I'm like, man, this, and then you start getting letters from them. And now Timmy made a good point. Just because you get a letter, you're not being recruited.
Right. Right.
They have to send out at least 1,000 a day just to meet quota. and they figure out who plays basketball. They make a little system, and they just send them out to whoever on that list.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So if you got a letter, if you're a parent and you see a kid coming, don't tell people that he's getting recruited by Kansas. And he averaged 7 points. You got to make it make sense, man.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is people be hyping up, oh, you know, such and such going to Kansas when he averaged 7 points.
Yeah. No, that's real. That's real spill right there.
So, you know, with that process, now I'm seeing the college, I'm seeing the coaches, they sitting in my classroom. They coming. I got John Thompson from Georgetown. I got my UVA coach. I don't want to say his name. My UVA coach sitting in the classroom. I got John Chaney sitting in the classroom. I got Roy Williams sitting in the classroom.
Wow.
So now I'm looking at it. Now I'm like, man, I got these people sitting in my classroom. And if anybody watching that's a teacher, Coach Ford, he was my avid teacher. Coach Ford, he was my avid teacher.
Yeah.
So now you get these trips to go to these colleges. They sending private jets to come pick me up. To go to their campus. And I'm staying in a 5-star hotel, and I walk in, they got my jersey, they got cards, candy, they got paraphernalia, they got Looney Tune cartoons saying, hey, you should go call Elton and see if he come into Florida State.
Wow.
They're making comic strips. This is facts. You know what I mean? This was my recruitment as I'm going in high school.
Wow.
So it my UVA career as far as recruiting, man, I loved it. I loved my recruiting process. It was an experience. I had them coming to the hood. I lived on Main Street.
Right.
One of my coaches called me, say, hey, Elton, I see about 30 guys out here in front. Is everything okay? Do I get out the car? I'm not lying. He calls my house phone. I'm not lying. I'm sitting in the house. Hey, can you come out here and get us? I had the whole hood trying to see who I got coming in here now.
Right.
They see that they know that I'm having these coaches coming in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to 9th Street.
You mentioned shout out to Downtown Newport News for sure. You mentioned you didn't want to mention your UVA coach.
Yeah.
Was there a particular reason, or you just say?
Hey, would you like to explain? Yeah. Would you like to?
Yeah, we just not gonna talk about him.
All right.
Because that gives attention.
I feel.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you end up picking UVA out of all these schools, Georgetown, and how did you end up saying, all right, I'm going to Charlottesville?
Man, I was a Virginia baby.
Right.
I love where I grew up at so much that at that time I didn't want to leave.
Right.
So Virginia was the biggest school that was close enough to the hood to me.
Right.
It was 2 hours.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It was only 2 hours. And I
hours.
have my mom. So now I can come down. I can see my mom and my family can come up there. And I'm like, man, I'm playing in the ACC.
Yeah.
I could play against Duke. I could play against Carolina. People forgot that UVA made it to the Elite 8 the year before me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I got there, we was number 3 in the country.
Yeah.
So that there made me just realize, like, do I go to a Kansas, Kentucky, Oregon State, Oregon, UCLA, and risk the chance my family not being able to see me play?
Facts.
My mom and grandmother was everything to me. My mom's still here. My grandmother passed, rest in peace. But my mom used to always want to come to my games. And my cousin Pookie, rest in peace, Pookie, Nathan Watts. They used to always come up there as a family, come up there and see me all the time.
Yeah.
That's what the reason I wanted to stay at UVA, and make a name for myself.
That's much respect to that, man. That's big right there. Coach Moore used to always talk about going up to see you play at the practices. Like he said, he'll shut it down early and get up on the road.
He would. He'll get on the road fast, boy.
Well, Elton, let me ask you though. Even with your Virginia career, I mean, I was going to go back to the word regret. Any regrets by going to UVA versus going to another school like Duke, North Carolina?
That's a good question, man. You caught me with a left one right there.
He left-handed. That's why he do that.
Man, see, look, I ain't even know it. Look, see, look at that. Look, I knew it was a left one right there. I don't. Because if I don't go to UVA, I'm not here now. I had to go through that type of stuff, even though statistically some people say, man, you had a hell of a career.
Right.
Yeah, you did.
But it wasn't what I visioned in a sense.
Okay.
But it was things there, situations that made me say, you know what, it ain't to that point. Do I need to go?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I won't say regrets because I met a lot of people in college and I met a lot of teammates. You know, my teammates was key in my college career. They helped me through it.
Yeah.
You know, we were like brothers. We still are. So, you know, it's a lot of things I like. No, I don't really regret it. I wish people could have switched, you know, but you know.
Got you.
Was it a culture shock going from downtown Newport News? It had to be right going from downtown Newport News to Charlottesville. Can you kind of go into that a little bit?
Man, I thought I was in a movie. Yeah. I thought I was in a movie. I said, it ain't no where. I was like, hold on, where are the black people? You know, and I didn't. You know, it wasn't no. It's more African American black people at UVA than people thought at the time. Initially, I didn't see that. So it was definitely a culture shock because I'm coming from downtown where I don't see nothing. You know, I see everybody that look like me. But then when I get up there, besides my teammates, nobody looked like me, like 80% of the time. You know, but I quickly adapted to it. I mean, they showed me nothing but love. I mean, like I said, it was a lot more African American or people that look like me than a lot of people knew. It was a lot. So I don't regret. It was a culture shock probably like the first week, but after that, nah.
You got with it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about that pro career, man. Like, how, you know, let's talk about transitioning, leaving UVA. How you decide on where you're going? Let's talk about your process. Like, what happened? What?
So this is another thing people don't know. What I was supposed to be picked the 17th pick in the draft.
Gosh almighty.
People don't know that. Again, another regret like the McDonald's game. Unfortunately, I caught a case, and a month before the draft. And it was one of them things that was like, man, you know, I'm from downtown, you know, so like I ain't with none of that. You think because I play ball and I could shoot a jump or post you up but this is where I grew up at. Right. You know what I mean? This is embedded in me. Right. So, you know, at a young age, that's what I'm thinking. Right. I'm thinking this. Now at hindsight, I'm looking back like, man, what are you doing? Yeah. You know, I don't regret the situation in the sense of what I had to do. No. But I wish I could have maneuvered a different way where I didn't have to do what I had to do. Facts.
You know, I have a question about that. So when you're projected to be drafted and you make a mistake, whatever the mistake was, you make that mistake, are you penalized for the mistake, or is it just more so about politics? Because if they had you rated number 17, you think, okay, kid made a mistake, let's give him an opportunity. So is it more politics, or is it more about the mistake?
For me, that mistake was big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
It wasn't like no.
Getting around it. Got you. Okay.
Got
so
you. Got you.
So with that being said, like knowing that, you know, like I said, looking back into it, I'm like, maybe I could have moved a different way that day. And I was on the phone with my best friend. That's the funny thing. Wow. You know, so at the end of the day, I think that, again, like a lot of the success that people have, I mean, I was knocking on a door for a first rounder. I was knocking on a door for the McDonald's game. And it was just something that I just did that was just foolish and young and childish of me, you know?
Wow.
I definitely think that it takes like maturity and humility, like to admit. So like that's big of you to do that. Like, look, you got influence, and I think, you know, it's good that you're using your platform just to be like, yo, like, I made mistakes. Don't make these same mistakes I did.
Yeah. And I think that's a key thing with the whole point of me transitioning, like what you were saying. You know, after I didn't get drafted, I went to Greece for a half a season, led the lead in rebound, the only player to average a double-double in Greece. And I just couldn't stay there.
Yeah.
I called my stepmom and my dad. I called them. I said, book me a ticket. I'm leaving tomorrow night. I ain't even tell the team I left. I just left. I left, played in the D League for like 6 games. That was nothing. And then I played in the D League again, and I led the D League in scoring and rebounding. And was first team All D League, All-Star. Made everything. I played on a team where we were the greatest show on earth. ESPN followed us. They did a story on us saying we was the greatest show on earth because we averaged the most points in the world, including NBA, Europe, all that in my D League career.
Wow.
And then I went to Israel and I won my first Europe championship.
Okay.
And I played with PJ Tucker. People don't know I played with PJ Tucker in the D League and in Israel. So PJ Tucker calls me while he's in Israel, and he says, "Hey, man, look, we got 3 months here. Hey, we got 4 months here. If we get a big man, we gonna win this jump." And he was like, "We gonna win it." Me and PJ talking on the phone. I said, "Look, if he gonna wire me half of my deposit and I see it, I'm out." And he did just that. And I was out the next day. Wow. And I won my first championship there, European. And then, you know, I played in Paris. I played with the Knicks. I played with the Lakers. And people are like, "Oh, you just got cut." No, see, that's what it's knowledge. People don't know what they be talking about. I played overseas because I wanted to.
Right.
Financially, it was better to me.
Right.
I didn't care about the fame of saying, "Oh, I'm in the NBA," because it's harder in the Europe than it is in the NBA to score.
Woo.
And even Luka
that's real.
And Luka Doncic said that himself.
Luka actually said that himself. He did.
He said it himself. What I averaged in Europe, I probably would have doubled or maybe probably averaged 20 and been an all-star in the NBA. We just going by numbers.
Right.
So can you explain the difference, like in the FIBA, the international rules, and then the NBA at that time? Now the rules have obviously changed. So what was some of the main differences in international basketball at that point?
The biggest difference is physical. And that was my game anyway.
Yeah.
And Europe is so physical to the point where it was so physical that it backfired on people when they played against me because that was my game. They were just fouling at the point. I like contact. So when you give me contact and you hitting with contact, it looks like a foul. You know what I mean? It looks like a lot of contact. So I thrive playing in Europe so much because it was a real man's game to me. To me, you know, it was players in the NBA that was coming over there and couldn't score. And was trying to score.
Right.
I mean, year after year, you hear about 15, 20 NBA players go to Europe.
Yeah.
And they're never the same player. Have y'all noticed when players go to Europe from the NBA, they're never the same. You don't hear from them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
That is very true. Very true.
So it's tougher. And that's why I tell people, like, I just never cared about the fame of saying I played in the league. Financially, it made sense. It was dumb for me to stay in the NBA when I could make way more than that.
Yeah.
But people don't have knowledge of basketball.
Now that's true. Let me follow-up question with the international. You said you played in Paris. You said you played in Greece. Obviously, being to travel the world abroad and do what you love is great. Like, what's the life like in those countries? It's got, again, I know it's different. Like, could you explain for those who have not been to Paris or Greece or whatever, what's that like?
If I didn't have a family, I would live there. People, In Europe, you don't have any drama. There's nobody. You're not gonna have haters.
Right.
You're not gonna have killings. You're not gonna have shootings. You're just not gonna see the fights. You barely see a fight. You might see a fight every now and then. It's peaceful, it's nice, and then you're treated like a king.
Yeah.
You're treated like a king. See, people don't understand when you play in Europe, you're like a Tim Duncan or a LeBron of Europe. They have ESPN Europe for a reason.
Right. Because
in Europe, their ESPN is us. And American games come on at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
All they do is see us all day. So when we walk down the street, we getting mobbed.
Right.
But people think that because I didn't play in the NBA, I guess I was just terrible. And so I just went to Europe because I was terrible. It don't make sense.
No, it don't.
That's what I'm saying. It's so much bias in the world that people didn't even understand. I was living a life. I got, you know what's so crazy? Each year, my agent would send me a contract, and I would get to pick whatever house I want to live in. If under my budget of $2 to $3 million.
Wow.
That's a big number.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's living like royalty.
This is in my contract. This is in my contract. I'm doing, in some countries we are sponsored by Mercedes.
Right.
Audi.
Right.
I'm driving the best cars with no mileage. That's what Europe was doing. So when people talk this NBA thing outside of Chuck.
Right. Yeah.
And Chuck, my guy, I'm always think that he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
When it comes to doing it at every level, I ain't talking about just Peninsula and then halfway college and then that's it.
Right.
I'm talking about this man did it from high school, college, NBA.
Yeah. Every level.
Basically, he was every level.
Yeah. Every level.
Dominique asked, and I don't know if you would know Dominique Carter. Shout out to Dominique. He asked, "Is it the same in Europe now?" It's okay. I don't know if you would know, but okay.
I definitely know because I keep in contact with a lot of people. I got a lot of friends in Europe. Financially, it's not the same because with the COVID and all that stuff there, that messed up European basketball, and then the whole situation with Brittany. That's teams over there now trying to pay double to get players to come over there. So if you making $500,000 normally, they trying to pay you $1 million tax free.
Wow.
Hey, so I got a question, Elton. So Rico from Phoebus wants me to ask you about what you and him talked about. I don't know if you remember the conversation that you had with Rico. I
know that's my guy. Shout out to Rico too, man. That's my guy. We played A.A.U together. That boy can shoot that ball. Whew. Oh yeah, man. And people forget Rico was averaging 27, 28 too. For a minute in the PD. People forget he was putting 20 numbers up. All threes. Hey Rick, I don't remember what we talked about, but you got my number. Definitely holler at me, man. But shout out to Rico.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think Stretch. I don't know about you. That sounds like the perfect segue to talk about the Peninsula District. Elton, it seemed like you had a lot on your mind about the list.
Hey, listen. Hold on, Stats. Hold on, man. Listen.
Go ahead, Mike.
Listen. Once again, I'm not from the PD, right? This is my first time meeting Elton. I sent him a friend request today. I said, hope he accepts it. He sent me a friend request. I'm like, cool. You sent me those numbers in the chat, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
I said when the votes was coming in, I said, how in the hell is this man all the way down here? And again, I don't understand it. And then you're number what? You finished what? Number 8? Number 8?
I'm number 8 in this district.
And look at the hallway. And I see something in your house. I see a Knicks jersey. You know what I'm saying? I know you got a Knicks jersey. I don't get it, bro. What's that? The Knicks? Okay, number 9. Okay.
And that say Brown at the top. So anybody
say Brown. Say Brown.
Julius.
Right. That don't say no damn Latrell Sprewell. That say Brown.
Yeah, that's 9. I ain't gonna hang up another man's jersey in no glass.
I don't get it. And them 2 trophies, them ain't no damn Emmys or no Oscars.
This is just this part right that you see. Anyway.
I don't understand the number 8 ranking. I don't understand.
I mean, at the end of the day,
hold on. In the other jersey, is that a Laker jersey behind you?
No, hold on. My Laker one in that room. But hold on. This one right here was the one I won with PJ Tucker when I said my first championship. We have a monument in another country of me.
Sheesh.
See.
So yeah, okay.
That's why that's so special to me right there.
Yeah.
Look, so okay,
Yeah.
You saw the list, you saw where you were listed, you saw who was above you, saw who was below you. Please, we want to hear what you got to say about the list.
Listen,
please.
Where should you be ranked at?
Yeah,
and that's what I'm gonna say. I'm humble. I'm humble. My opinion.
Okay.
Should be number 1. Anthony Barber.
He should be number 1.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Because people don't have opinions. This is not bias. This is saying who is the best player pound for pound.
Okay.
Is that not right? Everybody,
okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Statistically, he's an all-time Peninsula District leading scorer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He won a state championship, and his tallest man was about 6'1".
Yeah. Facts.
He was a McDonald's All-American.
Yeah. Yeah.
And statistically, he's Hampton Crabber's best player ever statistically. And you can't argue numbers. We're not talking about who had the biggest height. We saying the best. Right. When I look at the best players as an athlete, if somebody was to look at, nobody's going to say LeBron James is the 7th best player in the NBA.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Because he almost is a walking triple double.
Correct.
You can't be better than the person that's number 1, and he has the arguably his accolades are arguably with everybody else's that's in the top 4. So if they're that close, what separates us? Stats.
Right.
Barber's number 1. Statistically.
So I just want to, and I know you said that Cats won, but you have 2 national player of the years. That does matter, right? So that does matter. And why wouldn't you catapult yourself to the number 1? Because no one else has that. If I'm not mistaken.
I know nobody, but most of those people are not thinking statistically, thinking about who they can remember. They're not looking at the black. They're not doing this. They're not doing this, picking this up like, oh man, he's a Peninsula. They're not doing. They're like, I remember when this dude dunked, or this dude shot a 3 from half court. That's what they remember, but they are not remembering that he's an all-time leading district scorer.
Right.
So when we say who's the greatest Peninsula District player, yes, I have two accolades that he don't have. And that's why I say accolades. I don't have a McDonald's All-American. That counts for one of these. I'm not the Peninsula. I'm not the Peninsula all-time leading scorer. That counts for that. So at that point, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
He won a state championship. I didn't.
Right.
So I have to. He has stats statistically that puts him number 1. We're not talking about. We're just talking about high school only.
High school only.
We're not talking about what they did in the NBA or Europe or college. Peninsula, that boy number 1. You can't argue that.
Now I tell you
number 2.
This though, when you bring it up like that, you can't argue that. Like the way you present the information, that is you can't argue that.
I played basketball for a living. You can't sway me biased by saying who was hype, and who had the most height or went to what school. I played 15 years professional. I seen players in the A.A.U level that would come into the Peninsula level and average probably 100.
Right.
DeJuan Wagner was hitting 50 in New Jersey and A.A.U. and Nike All-American camp where I was in. He hit 50. His dad picked him up the next day. He said, ain't no competition.
Wow.
And then Nike All-American, he hit 50. Number two, the GOAT. Y'all know who that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
A.I. Chuck.
Yeah.
Chuck.
Yeah, Chucker.
He's number two. When it comes to not just scoring, I'm a basketball player. He averaged almost a triple-double his senior year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Facts.
unheard of.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. There was a 30-point triple-double at that.
You had to go see him at the Coliseum.
Yeah. He played in the same place where Dr. J was at.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Man.
And then number three is me.
Okay.
Number three is me. Because outside of those two guys there, my points and stats have said for itself after that point.
Right.
And accolades for anybody else. You know what I'm saying? We just being honest. It's not me being cocky. It's not me being, oh, he ain't humble. He think he all that. It's stats. People don't like to hear the truth.
Right.
They hate the truth.
Yeah.
They hate the truth. I'm be at three because nobody did what I was doing. I was shooting threes when people was mad when I was shooting threes in the crowd. I heard people like, what are you doing shooting threes? You're a big man. Get inside. I'm making it through. They're still mad.
Still mad.
They're still mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that being said, I was doing things. My numbers speak for itself. I was doing things. I did it not only the PD level where competition was tough. I was doing it at A.A.U. level where I think I sent to one of y'all. I can't remember. We was the number one A.A.U. team in the country.
Yeah, you sent it to me. Yeah.
People, you know what I'm saying? So when you say, oh, he number three, yes, look at my stats.
Yeah.
We didn't lose a tournament in the whole summer. Me, JJ Riddick, John Gilchrist, Timmy Smith, Jason Clark. We didn't lose a tournament.
Yeah, that team crazy.
That's crazy.
And
crazy.
I helped anchor that team with these.
Yeah.
They don't have that never happened before.
Right.
PD should be ashamed of themselves for vote you ate.
I'm not even retired in my high school.
Wait, what?
I was going to ask you that. That's insane. Now that is a travesty.
But look, shout out to Ward, the AD. We talking, and shout out to the Ward Raiders. That's my squad. But I've been moved from high school. I think about 20 years.
Yeah.
It's not
That's
that
crazy,
I'm crying or like, oh, you're whining. It's just like when you work and you so passionate about a game that you did your whole life. At some point, you like, especially I'm retired. I haven't played ball in 6 years. So when you sit back and look at what you did and all the hard dedication and work you did, sometimes it feels good to getting recognition for what you did. Mm-hmm. That's all. It's just like if you work a 9 to 5, you working hard, you want a raise. Mm-hmm. You want a bonus. Don't mean something. I'm working hard every day. That's all. It's not me whining and trying to say, oh, I need my jersey. I got jerseys here, down there.
Right.
It's not about that. It's just to make me feel good so I can tell my son, Elton the third, hey, your dad, not only is he in Boo Williams, and I'm in Boo Williams, but I'm not in Ward.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That is crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's not about crying. It's just more so like I just want the little recognition for the hard work I put in all these years, grinding, practicing, being the underdog, being people saying, "Oh, I don't like him," but that's not about me.
I'm gonna say this. Besides that little stretch that Damo and them had, what was that 2015, 16? Ward can't been shits for 20 years. So we go, Chris Moore. I don't know. You probably watching Chris somewhere. Look, we need to make some phone calls, man. Get this man jersey up on the wall, man.
Yeah, man. Please.
So we're gonna get that shit done. We're gonna get that shit done. We're gonna get that shit done.
Number 4. I got it. I'm gonna go with Damon Bacon.
Time out on the play. I will never refute a legend. How can I?
I'm gonna tell you why.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. People gotta understand this man averaged 31. He averaged 31.
Yeah.
And not only that, he gave Chuck 50 with a broke wrist.
I heard about that.
And they had to hold on. He averaged 31. Who else did that?
Yeah.
Great take.
Yeah.
It's a great take.
Yeah.
He had 50 on the GOAT with a broke wrist and averaged 31.
Yeah. Great take. Great take.
What you got it. We're not talking about the pom-poms and all the hype and all the biasness. We talking to a person,
right.
A person who understands the game.
Right.
These guys that I'm naming, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I'm down 3 points or I'm down 2 with 6 seconds left, I'm giving these 4 and then the next guy the ball. And maybe one more need the ball. I'm giving them the ball because I know they're gonna make something happen with it.
Right.
Stretcher, you write this list down.
Well, I got it. I got
it.
No.
Number 5.
Yes.
I got Mr. Rutland.
Shit.
There's a notable name that hasn't been said. I'm just.
Well, actually, it's 2 notable names that haven't been said. But
he's
my guy.
And I'm gonna tell you those notable names. There's no reason to be shocked when you're saying stats.
Okay.
One of my, maybe I have a little bias towards one of them, but he's
So I'm coming. That's number 5, and we can't talk. He had over 1,800 points.
Yeah.
Right. Tony. Yeah. Right. Tony was crazy.
Talking about stats. Name somebody on this list who had over 18 points, won a state championship, played backcourt with the GOAT, and then went to the ACC and played with Tim Duncan. Name one.
Right.
Yeah.
Why he shouldn't be number 5? Why should he not be number 5?
No dispute on that. No dispute on that. No dispute on that.
Yeah.
Now, number 6. I'm going with Timmy.
There you go. That's my guy. I have a little higher, but I'm just a history lesson.
We going but you see, you said it's a personal thing. Like you admitted it.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
But the thing is, I'm going by stats.
Right.
Anything I'm saying, you can't be like, you can't be biased towards black and white. You just can't. Timmy changed the game in the district. Like he was 5'8". I played with him for 3 years, and he did it at the top level too in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, you quit this sham guard.
Mm-hmm.
Timmy would give people. He was right behind me each year until he transferred.
Right.
Every night I'm like, dang, I gotta score 35 because Timmy, I know he about to score 35. And then I'm hoping he ain't playing Gloucester or somebody, because then if I'm playing a team that's tough to me when it comes to like a team oriented, I'm like, gosh, my average might get messed up,
Right.
So that's number 6. Now these last 4, I'm gonna say it's kind of like interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna really. However, I'll pick the 4, but I think that it's still interchangeable. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It can go.
I got
that 6. That 6 I just named.
Stamp.
You can't statistically.
Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
We ain't talking about the train behind or the biased pom-poms.
Mm-hmm.
And respectfully, I think all these guys are great, 1 through 25, all the people you named. So let me get that straight again. I'm just a basketball player, and I'm going by what I know as a player, not like a fan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So next, now remember, this is interchangeable.
Okay.
Statistically, I got to throw him in there. We got to have a big in there. And we got to address the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Ricardo not up here?
Sean the incoming.
Tell me why. I'm just asking. Again, I'm not saying he's a lock at number 7.
Gotcha.
Right. Interchangeable.
I feel like for what his body of work, he painted the picture. What are y'all not looking at?
But you know what, Elton, to your point, that he had a lot of it was a lot of noise surrounding Ricardo, though. He got a lot of love.
Okay.
just from talking to people and stuff like that. So
yeah,
he got a lot of love.
In the research that we did, like people did speak highly of him. I honestly, again, and this goes back to what Stretch was saying the other day, dog. Like people would say these things about him, but they're not voting for him. So it's just like you got the platform to change it, but y'all would rather. I mean, again, saying nice things is great, bro. But I'm sure he wanted to be recognized. Like, but again, just talking to people, like, he got it. Yeah, he got a lot of love.
I mean, you got to think Peninsula District is a guard-oriented district.
It is. Yeah.
So the bigs, that's the problem. The bigs get left behind so much because you got players like me, Ricardo, Duke Cruz, and Antoine Smith. We got players that are good, but the bigs, but we don't. It's hard to outshine a guard.
Don't get no love, dog.
It's just hard.
Yeah.
What I'm at? That was number 7.
Yeah,
it's unchangeable.
Get out 7.
Number 7. So then I'm gonna go with Steph Welsh. I know a lot of people are not gonna like that, but again, statistically, y'all please name outside of the top 6 that I named that I said is stamped. The body of work, he won a state championship.
Can I push back on not really a pushback?
He was a great A.A.U player.
Can you have Steph without having Calvin?
No, I'm slow down with me.
Okay.
Slow down with me.
Go ahead.
Slow down with me. So he plays in a back court with another good player. How can you leave Steph out? Well, we talking numbers, and he did it at the A.A.U level, and then went to Arkansas and did his thing there.
Yeah. He was crazy at A.A.U and in Arkansas.
So check this out. Most of the players that we naming right now, that you can tell when talent is talent.
Right.
All the players that I named just now, look what they did at the next level at college. They superseded what they did almost in high school. It wasn't a drop off. That's showing you special talent.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
You said Cat Barber went to NC State and went crazy. A.A.U went to Georgetown. We know what happened. Me? I went to UVA. We know what happened. Tony Rutledge went to David. You know what I'm saying? We naming these players that not just did it and they catapulted in the college level.
Speaking of your point, where Ricardo, Lee said he averaged 25 and 12 as a junior and 28 and 12 as a senior. That's ridiculous.
And you don't have him in the top 10 statistically. And you say the best of all times. That's what I'm saying. You talking to a basketball player.
Yeah,
you're not talking to a fan. Because I respect all these. I respect all these players. I respect all of them. But I'm not going to be biased. If it walk like a duck, it's a duck.
It's a duck.
Absolutely. You on number 9. Number 9.
Yep.
I'm gonna put Ronald Curry in there because at the end of the day, he did stuff that people didn't do.
Right.
McDonald's, slam dunk contest. It was at his home gym. But when the people's like, why he so, people like, well, why he so low? Number 9. Statistically, his 3 years playing, he averaged 17 almost. His high school career. His senior year, he averaged 23 points. I averaged that my sophomore year.
Right.
So
does that speak to the bias for the Hampton City schools, or?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. How can Ronald Curry be better than Cat Barber if Cat Barber is Hampton's all-time leading scorer and Peninsula leading scorer, McDonald's All-American, and was the best player in the PD and got a state championship? He did the same.
Yeah.
What did Ronald Curry's not the all-time leading scorer, and I respect Ronald Curry.
Right.
We're not talking football.
Right.
Ronald Curry was a good player. If we put Cat Barber where Ronald Curry played at, do they still win a championship? Do Ronald Curry team with Bobby Blizzard and all them, do they still win a championship with the all-time leading scorer? or Allen Iverson or Tony Rutland or Elton Brown or Timmy Smith.
Valid.
If that's the case, then that means he can't be up in the top 5 when he averaged 23 as a senior. That's great numbers. We're not talking that. That's great numbers as a senior. But it's not better than the guys that I named. I averaged 30 and 16.
Yeah.
And my last guy, I'm going to put Calvin Baker.
Ooh.
I've been advocating for Calvin, and I was and not to cut you off, but I was pretty like upset. Like I was just like, wow, you're like, Calvin won a state championship, back-to-back PD Player of the Year.
Based on the criteria that we had, bro, he could have been way higher.
He wasn't getting any love at all. No love.
That's what I'm saying. So when you look at his body of work, right? You look at his body of work.
Right.
The people that y'all might think that I didn't name that's in the top 10, you name a player that stats is better than his. Name one player that I didn't put in the top 10 that somebody's stats is better than Calvin Baker's. We're not talking about bias and he went to Hampton or he went to Bethel. We're saying pound for pound, statistically, accolades, all together. Who stats in the top that's outside of this top 10 better than Calvin Baker's? Back to back
stats and
state championship.
Who's in the top 10 that he?
Well, I was gonna say he, Brett Harper and Marseille Brown were in the top, right? They were 8 and they were 6 and or 7 and
Marseille was 7 and Brett Harper was 9.
Yeah,
but Antoine made it as well, right?
Antoine was 10.
Yeah, Antoine was 10.
So those 3. Okay.
So what I'm saying is those 3 players that I named that I didn't name, who's better than Calvin Baker's stats? Who won back-to-back Player of the Years, won a state championship? Out of those 3 people that I did name, tell me one. And then I'll put them back in.
I agree.
The answer is none. Yeah, the answer is none.
So this is why I picked the top 10 the way I picked it, from a person who understands the game, not bias, and I'm not number 1.
Right.
I know my role in this thing.
I respect this list right here. And I also I can snap this joint right here. Yeah. And like you said, it's based on basketball knowledge, it's based on statistics, and it's not based on fanfare and city bias. You know what I'm saying? So I respect this. This is a strong list.
Nobody in the comments, nobody can share none of this, me, DM me, PM me. Anybody better than that top 10 statistically.
Yeah.
You can't.
Everybody in the comments right now are pretty much agreeing with you right here. They're saying, they stand in ovation from a basketball perspective. You know what I'm saying? You got some co-signing going on.
I'm looking at the list. I'm looking at the list. I'm like, what are we watching?
Yeah. See, the problem is again, the problem is, we asking these people to vote because we didn't get a vote. We didn't get a vote. Yeah. We didn't get to nominate anybody. And these people are voting, like you said, they voting their friends. They voting what they people saw, and that's the issue with trying to get a top 25 or a top 10 list. Like, you get so much, I ain't gonna say bullshit in the game, but you get so much stuff that shouldn't even be considered in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I think? I think next time, if y'all ever do something like this again in a different way, what y'all should do is pick y'all top 15 and actually pick y'all top 15 from the stat point, right?
Yeah.
Y'all do that as a hope. So y'all like, look, this is our top 10. Now you ask the fans to vote their top 10, and then you try to merge it to see, okay. And then because y'all did the actual homework of each player.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So now the fans can't do the biases, because y'all gonna be like, ho, why do you got this person at number 4? He ain't even win a Player of the Year.
Right.
He got over 1,000 points.
Yeah, it was a lot of that. It was a
lot of that. It was a lot of that.
I mean, I was like, who is that? Like,
So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna break it down by decade. So we talk about, and then we'll have an all-decade team. You know, stuff like that. Like the PD should have this stuff, man. They don't even have none of this stuff, man. It's sad. You know, again, we trying to bring some awareness to the area because, like you said, man, look at these names, man. These are legendary names, man. Why we don't have an all-decade team?
Yeah.
Like that's definitely something. Because let's be honest, like it's a lot of guys, Elton, that went on your list that should be recognized in some way for what they did and how they played, but like they may have played in a different decade before or after, and they should be recognized for that. And you know, if the coach show is the one now to do it, I'm with it. Like, but that's something that the Daily Press, that's something that the Virginia, facts. They should have done that. Absolutely.
They should have been done that. That should have been done years ago because the Peninsula District breeds so many great players. It's so many great players that come through the Peninsula District. You know, so it's like you should cherish the talent that come through here, young and old. Yeah. You know, it don't matter, but you know, hopefully one day.
Yeah, we can only hope, man. One day.
Hopefully, man. I appreciate your candor, man, and being candid and honest, man. Like that's very, 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 very much appreciated, man. So I would, like I said again, Calvin and yourself. So I'm glad to hear you say, from a guy that played the game, knows the game on every level, man, that you had Calvin at 10 and then yourself. So but yeah, it was hard to get people to vote, man, consistently, man. Yeah. They would talk about it. We would talk to people in the gym and they were just like, yeah, what about this guy, man? Go vote. You know, get your phone, go vote. Shoot me a text.
And the thing is, I'm standing right here. If you tell me who the 10 are, I'll log your vote for you.
Right. But they wouldn't do it. Like literally standing right there, they wouldn't do it.
I'm a part of the cast. I can make sure your vote is counted. Like,
it was tough, man. Yeah. It was tough, but I do think we should do the next. When we do girls next week, we're gonna go ahead and just get 15 strong women names. Yes. And then let them vote on that. Yeah.
20, you don't need 25 because 25 ain't gonna be needed. You know what I mean? Because the stats is gonna shrink the numbers like this.
Yep.
You're gonna put 25 people, probably 15 to 25 because it's gonna be averaging 2. And I'm saying this for all genders. I'm not talking about
Right. No, I'm with you.
Let me get that straight. I ain't talking about females.
No. We understand what you was trying to say, though. You won't try to take it out. Yeah, you won't try to take it.
But after you do real numbers and stats, it's not going to be a top 25.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
It's because you're going to have the top 15, and then after 15, it's going to be a significant drop off.
Yeah.
So some of these names we don't even need to have nominated.
Don't even need to talk about.
Drop it to 15.
Yeah.
Somebody in the comments just real quick said Daily Press lost the newspaper spotlights when the Daily Press was purchased by Southside newspaper. Okay, I don't know if that's accurate or what. Thank you, Justin Vyas, for saying that. But if that's the case, like you would think, because they've been highlighting all of that since before. Like they're the one that's keeping the track, and they should have the archives. You would think that they would do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, but again, you're talking about like the Daily Press building used to be right beside the YMCA. That joint been shut down. Yeah. That joint been shut down for at least 5-6 years. Could be more than that.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that.
When you start pumping that paper out, I'm pretty sure all of the interest, all of they, reporters and people who they had on tap,
somebody got this information which needs to be released because
they gotta have it.
It's a lot of false. It's a lot of yellow journalism and people creating their own narratives about the PD and the history of PD. People can easily, fan or show bias when you don't have the black and white. You know what I'm saying? It's easier. It's like a folk tale. Somebody tell you the story, then when they get to this person, the story ain't even what it was.
That's what we need to get away from. Yeah, that's what we need to get away from. Like everybody played the game, and when you finish playing, you scored these many points. You had this many rebounds. You had this many blocks. You were nominated for this many first team, second teams. You were player of the year this many times. Like those things had to be brought out to the forefront. And unfortunately, they're like, you don't know where none of this stuff is at. So I think, you know, as long as the fellas is with me, man, this could be a little mission of ours for this year here to
that's
go,
a good mission.
and collect all of that information, man, and present it to the people.
Because I'm with it. Because again, that Elton, like, we want to use this platform to shout out local, you know what I mean? Like, and put a spotlight on the Peninsula District, man. Because again, when we do the football one, we're gonna do the girls, and then we're gonna do the football one too. Like, we want to give all of these guys love who put in work for the Peninsula District. So absolutely, I'm with that.
That's it. They can't. Those who deserve it, and then all that bias stuff, you ain't even got to listen to it. The comments, all these comments, people talking about stuff like, all right, you didn't even have over 1,000 points. How you gonna be top 10?
Right.
Yeah, 800 points his whole career. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
If
they don't even have a back a state championship or nothing.
Yeah, if that. So now we come to the part where we ask you, Big E, your top 5 NBA players of all time. And based on that PD list, I know this shit right here about to be real dicey.
Well, listen here. I know one name that better not be on that list. I know one name that better not be on that list.
I hope I don't say it, dude.
You ain't gonna say it. I don't think you're gonna say it. You ain't gonna say it. At least I hope not.
He got blood fused with certain players, and he is never, ever letting it go. Ever.
I mean, but to see, the thing is, he's acknowledging it now. It's clear that it's people that he don't like. They don't matter what their stats are. You know what I mean? Like,
I have a little bit of context. There's a little bit of context, but a lot of it is just like, it's the homeboy bias again. Like, but go ahead. Okay. Go ahead.
So I'm always gonna start with Mr. 23, the GOAT, Mike. I'm gonna go with him.
All right.
I'm gonna throw Hakeem in there. Hakeem Olajuwon. He was so unguardable. Like, gosh, he had 2 championships, MVPs. He was so unguardable. He was the most skilled big man that played basketball. The most skilled. I ain't saying the most dominant. Skilled.
Yeah.
I would go with Hakeem. Tim Duncan. 5 chips, 1 team, multiple MVPs, all-time leading scorer. I mean, like, no power forward done what he done. The stats. We ain't talking about favoritism. See? I mean, you got it. I'm not a person. You got to throw LeBron in there.
Okay.
You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something that I'm not like a fan like that. But I'm fair. Like, he's good. He's great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan, but he's unstoppable. And then my final one, I gotta go with Steph. I gotta go with Steph. And a lot of people don't think I'm crazy, but when you look at what Steph did, first of all, he got 4 chips. So we're gonna stop right there. He has MVP. He has scoring titles. He's the all-time leading scorer for threes. We never seen anybody he changed the game of basketball. Kids, it went from Patrick Ewing, traditional big man backing you down, to now everybody cross half court and shoot a 3. It's not because of LeBron. It's not because of Michael Jordan. It's not because of Kobe. It's because Steph Curry. Steph Curry has changed the game of basketball to another level, and you cannot talk statistically anything bad about him that defies why he should not be in the top 5. Because statistically, it's a great argument to keep him in the top 5.
Question. Yeah. So, I guess it's a 2-part question. Or is there in your top 5? Is there a big man bias? You got, and the reason I say that is because it's Hakeem and Tim Duncan, and most of, from what I hear from other people's top 5 or top 10, don't include Hakeem or Tim. So I would say, why not because you're talking about accolades and you're into the numbers. What about Kareem? All-time leading scorer. Then you can go with maybe a Will, or even if you can go with a Bill Russell, 11 championships.
Okay, all right, man, we gotta be real. Okay,
absolutely.
Let's be real. Bill Russell played. Come on, man, look at the competition.
Right.
Look at the Bill Russell first. He got 11 rings. So do Robert Horry. He has 7.
Right.
Robert Horry got 7. Is he a top 5 player?
But he's a role player. He's a role player.
Yeah, but that's my point I'm trying to make. He was a role player, but he still got 7 rings. Bill Russell had 11 rings, and his stats ain't coming close to it when it comes to Hakeem in the era he played in.
He averaged 25 rebounds?
Man,
listen, we're talking about stats though. I understand the
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm not saying. I'm saying no. I'm passionate about this. What I'm saying is Hakeem brought something to a game. Nobody, you ain't gonna hit. You never heard something like, I'm about to hit him with the Bill Russell. you hear people get on the block. They be like, "What the first thing people do when they get on the block? Oh, I got him with the Hakeem.
Yeah.
Why you think LeBron was working? Why you think LeBron was working with him so much? His footwork. He won't working with Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, not with Kareem.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a reason for that. Kareem, but he wasn't as skilled as Hakeem Olajuwon.
Right. Follow up.
Yeah.
You got Steph, and Steph was in my top 10 all time. The number one person I had in my is Magic. I think Magic is the best floor general I've seen, best leader I've seen. He got 5 chips, 8 out of 10 finals in the 80s, three finals MVPs, 3 league MVPs. And not to say Steph is a bad choice. You don't have Magic in your top 5. But where would you rank Magic as far as in your top 10? Would you rank him in your top 10 all time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
He's in my top 10. But the reason why I wouldn't put him above Steph, because right now the players are faster, stronger, more athletic. Magic is not getting that off with that athleticism right now. He would not be able to keep up with Russell Westbrook coming downhill 200 miles per hour.
Right.
Magic is not going to be the same Magic. And this, when I say the top, like Steph can shoot, you can't stop shooting. And he got he has a string on the ball. His handles is underrated. Yeah. So he could get his shot off, and he's not even athletic.
Right. So one of the things
he's doing it now.
So one of the things we talked about, me stretching Mike, because we did a top 25 all time too. All of our lists are a bit different than yours. But one of the things that we talked about, and I think is under discussed, and you can talk about it a little bit, you just kind of did with Magic, is the competition level. The competition level is very, very different from then to now. And I do think it's fair to evaluate players. Like evolution is a real thing, right? Yeah. Like players, if evolution is done properly, like the players are going to get better every year. Like how much do you believe in that? Because like you did put Steph above Magic. I don't have him there yet.
Yeah.
But how much do you think like that matters, like when having these discussions?
I think it matters a bit. It matters a lot. The thing is, when you look at transitions, certain players who can play in each era. Mm-hmm. They can play now and then. It's certain, like you have a Jordan. Jordan can play now and then. Hakeem right now, because he was quick as life, he could play now and then. Tim Duncan was so fundamental. With these big men now, he'll average about 50. But he, at the same time, I feel like he can really do it. He will wear you down on offense to the point where it'll be hard to play. It'll be easy for him to play defense. So Steph could do that because again, it's shooting. It's not like he couldn't shoot. You know what I mean? So I think that yes, the evolution is real big because certain players couldn't play then, certain players couldn't play now. So it goes like hand in hand almost. So I definitely agree with you. The evolution is key. You got LeBron James 6'9", 275, move like a point guard. Something ain't normal. He was Magic height. So you do something saying he's Magic height. You think Magic stand in front of that? Magic got to guard him at 6'9".
He Magic height with Karl Malone build.
Yeah, I got a question for you. So this is me and stats kind of go at it. So I want to ask you this. So we did a top 25, right? So am I more crazy for putting Giannis based on what he's done so far in my top 25, or stats putting CP3, John Stockton, and Steve Nash in his top 25? Who's more crazy? Me or stats? Yeah. I'll put Giannis in my top 25. He's number 16 based on everything he's done. Yeah.
No, I'm about to say the Giannis dunk is correct.
Thank you, E. And I dare y'all to refute that. I dare y'all to refute
the stats.
No, I mean, look,
I'm a numbers guy.
Listen,
a numbers guy.
I'll push back on it a little bit. And I said it like this. I love Giannis. I don't want to put anybody else's opinion.
No. Go with the Steve Nash and John Stockton.
I'm gonna adjust the Giannis first, because you be trying to get me in trouble with the guests, and I don't even care. I don't even care.
No, talk about your stuff.
Look. You be trying to get me. Look. So I'm gonna say it like
show, bro. A.A.U, every show these dudes go at it.
I really gotta explain my takes after I already explained them, but it's cool. So look, my thing with Giannis was this. I love Giannis. Love him. And I think he's a generational player, be it dominant in any era. The only thing that I said for him was the longevity. He's had 5 MVP or 5 All-NBA MVP level seasons, and that type of impact is high. It increases your team's championship odds. That's how I look at players. So for me, I'm not saying he can't get there, and I actually think he could go higher than 16. I just think that as of right now, with only 5 All-NBA MVP level years, I can't put him above guys who put in more work.
Who you think that, like, name a power forward?
Okay, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah,
so if I'm not mistaken, I had Kevin Garnett.
He has 1 MVP.
I had Kevin Garnett, and I think I had Karl Malone in front of him for sure. And I don't remember off the top of my head. Y'all can play the tape if you watch it. I think I had Barkley, and I think I had Barkley. Giannis wasn't in my top 25. Again, only due to longevity, not the level of play. He just got to sustain it. As far as Chris Paul, John Stockton, look, I used to be the guy, because I look at numbers, stats, advanced stats. I watch a lot of tape, right? So I'm a guy I used to overrate peak and underrate longevity. Peak matters because how you play at your best matters. If you play at a super, super high level, you increase your team's championship odds by a lot. But longevity has to matter at some point too. And John Stockton was at an all-star level, all-NBA level for 14, 15 years.
Well, check this out. This is how I could end this conversation here. Because what you said is, I'm glad you said all that. I like to listen as an athlete. What Giannis has done already eclipsed all their careers.
That's why I just try to tell you.
And he hasn't even reached his peak. So if he did this and he's still playing, and he's better statistically. He's better than Barkley outside of Karl Malone, point wise. But he has all the accolades, MVPs. He has a championship. Karl Malone don't have a championship. Don't have multiple MVPs. So his career
Karl
right
Malone
now
got 2 MVPs. He does have 2 MVPs.
Giannis has too many. He is no way. If you look at his play right now for all the years he's been in, he's better than all of those players. Kevin Garnett only got 1 MVP. Kevin Garnett what people fall in love with is flash. If somebody dunk, they cross him over and throw it behind their back and they make it. They go by flash and what exciting. That's entertainment. That's NBA entertainment. But when you look at people, like, you got to look at the game. You can't say Kevin Garnett is better than Giannis.
Now,
he took the Bucks to a championship.
I love Giannis, but longevity and how long you do it does have to matter. If we're going to say that Giannis peaked higher than all of them, if all of them at their best, does Giannis has the best peak? You could make a strong argument for that. I'm not even.
That's the point. What does that even mean, though? The best peak. What did he do in his peak, though?
I said Giannis, bro. I said Giannis.
But you said that you go by what a person does in their peak. at their prime.
Yeah.
And
No. Stop. See, now you're putting words.
No, I'm asking.
Okay. What I said was, I go by peak and longevity. It's not just peak or longevity.
Oh, okay. I see.
I said, so if you're comparing their peaks, you can make an argument for Giannis' peaks being better than Garnett, Barkley, Duncan, Malone, and I think Tim Duncan's better anyway.
He played 20 year stats, and he got one MVP.
I mean, again,
the first round 7 years in a row.
Elton, I'm gonna say this, right?
I just don't understand.
I'm about to tell you again for like the fourth time. Accolades matter, but for me, it's the level of play more than the accolade itself.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Because again, right, and I'm not saying accolades don't matter. I'm personally not a big accolade guy, to be honest. It's in the NBA specifically, because it's a lot of politics that goes into guys getting accolades. So I just look at the level of play. How long did you play at the MVP level? Whether you won the award or not, because it's a lot that goes into that. How long did you play at that certain level? So again, you could make a strong argument Giannis's peak is higher. I'm not even pushed back on that. And I didn't even push back when Mike said it. But the longevity, how long they did it, for me, that matters.
I think Giannis would do it for a long way because the technology is different. You got to think back then, they didn't have the recovery machines that they got now, and the massage trainers and the facilities that they got.
Evolution.
So it's like you just said, the evolution is real. So if Karl Malone and Charles Barkley fighting every night, back then they was fighting every night, and they still playing, and with minimum compared to now recovery machines and people and facilities, man, they gonna make sure Giannis stay at this peak. That's an investment. That man making $200+ million.
Absolutely.
They're gonna invest on him. He's gonna be a long time doing what he's doing.
Listen, I'm with you on the evolution. I'm with you. I just think he just got to continue to do it before I personally put him there.
Absolutely.
Hey, Elton, real quick, man. You know, because you played the game. You're very knowledgeable. I love your candor, as I said earlier. But you know,
Mike, don't start no shit, man.
I'm not starting no shit, but you know, I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, you know, so
keep it 100. Keep it 100.
You know the game. So let me ask you a question. So when you think of on the defensive side of the ball, you got Michael Jordan and Kobe. You know, they're
oh my God.
I gotta ask them. They're defensive wizards. They on the ball. So let me ask you this: where would you rank Andre Iguodala all time defensively? Are they better than Jordan and Kobe defensively?
No.
Just relax.
Who said that? No, hold on. I'm gonna say because I want to answer this question.
Sure.
Iguodala, if you said this, I understand why, and that's why I'm gonna say it. Iguodala is guarding way more athleticism than Michael Jordan and Kobe was.
Wait, hold on. Oh, let me stop you. He said he is one of the best wing defenders of all time.
Bro, hold on, Mike. Now I'm right here. I can tell him. I can tell him. No. You don't have to tell him because I can tell him. I'm right here.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is my argument, Elton.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I've said this. I'm in the sports group, Sports Society. Shout out to them. I love y'all. But I troll Michael Jordan fans because I'm a LeBron guy. I feel like LeBron's the GOAT. I love Jordan, respect him, indelible part of the game. I just think LeBron's better. Now, I've said that Andre Iguodala is one of the best perimeter defenders of all time. Length, hands, speed, quickness, functional strength for his position. I also said that Andre Iguodala had high basketball IQ, and more importantly, he could put more effort in on defense because that was more of his role. Michael and Kobe had much offensive loads, so they couldn't put effort into defense. I said Kobe was younger when he was younger. Between 99 and 2004 was better. If you turn on the tape, because I'm a big tape guy, Kobe was chasing guards around screens because they played Shaq in the drop, a deep drop. So Shaq, they put Kobe on the best guard and have him chase over screens. He had the mobility and the energy to do it. Michael Jordan was a passing lane demon. He protected the rim on occasion, but he had great hands, great lateral quickness, all of that. But Andre Andre Iguodala was a guy, he had a bigger motor for defense because he didn't have to have the offensive role while having great hands as well. Go ahead.
So what you could say is Andre Iguodala is probably a top 15 all-time wing defender. But you got to think, Iguodala never made 9-time defensive team, first team all defense.
But
Michael
Jordan
and Kobe. Michael Jordan did that and gave you 30. And led the NBA in scoring.
He said that these accolades is all politics. And
no, see, the thing is, this is the thing with people when you have somebody like Michael Jordan. Let's stick with Michael real quick. Michael Jordan averaged 30. You can't really knock that because that's in the black and white. And he was 9-time first team, maybe more. I'm probably minimizing his defensive.
I think it was 9. I think it was 9.
It's 9. So he did that and scored. So even though with your point is saying Iguodala he could focus more. Yeah, he probably could focus more. But Michael Jordan still made first team and gave you 30 and gave you MVP while he was doing it in the whole NBA. So Iguodala is, yes, he's a top. I think he probably is arguably a top 15 best all-time wing defender. Yes, but he's not better than Jordan and Kobe. No, I played with Kobe.
That's fair.
With Kobe.
That's fair.
I will also say this to that argument that Michael Jordan was locking up Craig Elo all night.
So Elton,
I love that. I love that. I love that. I'm gonna tell you what.
Go ahead, please.
People say that, right? People say that, but look at the top 75 players of all time.
Right. Most
of them are coming from Michael Jordan era.
Correct.
So people say he was guarding Mark Price.
But most of them are bigs though. From his era, they're mainly big.
Yeah, they were bigs, but my whole point, he had to go in the paint against Patrick Ewing in New York. People forget they had to go in the paint against Detroit, the bad boys. Then he had to get past the Lakers. He still had to get past, he was playing against teams that nowadays is a defense of 3 seconds. There's no big man sitting in the paint waiting to just knock you on your ground. Jordan was coming in there going against Patrick Ewing, a Hall of Famer, going against Robert Purge. I mean, he was going against the Giants. So you can't say, he was going past the guards. He get past whoever nobody knows, but then he getting in the paint and he got to go against Hall of Famers.
Yeah, that's why I give him credit is finishing at the rim. I do give him a lot of credit for finishing at the rim.
That's what makes him better to me than LeBron.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Because LeBron can go in the paint now. You think that back then when Jordan was playing that they was gonna let the New York Knicks is gonna let LeBron just come down and do all this real fast in it? Man, Larry Johnson, Anthony Mason gonna knock him slam out the air, and they're gonna say try it again. And LeBron gonna see how tough mentally he is to see if he could do it. Michael Jordan was tough mentally. See, Jordan wanted to take that last shot. LeBron don't. It's too different. It's like two different killer instincts. Like Jordan instinct is just like LeBron talking to the ref about a foul. Right. Jordan getting punched in the face on purpose and get up like and either he gonna fight or he goes to the line like, this is what we gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna give you 40.
So one thing I'm gonna do in season 2, Elton, and please tune in. We're gonna turn on the tape of some of these 90s games because some of the way that we romanticize the 90s is not because like when I turn on these 90s games, look, I'm not saying it wasn't more physical then, right? Because it was. But I think the rules played a part in that too. The illegal defense rules. Like you couldn't have guys below the free throw line with help defense.
When? Right? When was that?
In the 90s. Between I think it was 90 to 2004 when that changed. Or 90 to 98, I think when it changed. Zone came in 2001.
Yeah, that makes it actually easier now because now when you have the defense of 3 seconds, you could go 5 out, and whoever the best talent is going to go past that defender. So LeBron's supposed to go past whoever.
But now though, you can't help. I mean, you can help and play zone. You don't have to be hugged up on a man specifically. The rules impact how guys play the game, and I just think in the Jordan, any discussion, the rules are not discussed enough. I don't want to really get into a LeBron Jordan thing. The rules just aren't discussed enough.
I understand. That's respect. That's big respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
All right. Before we get out of here, Elton, you got any closing remarks, man? Any shout outs you want to say? Or
Man, shout out to my family, my kids, everybody, my wife, everybody, just my mom, my dad, just being there for me. Warwick, I'm gonna holler at y'all soon, Warwick High School. Shout out to Boo. Boo, definitely helped me in my career. I want to shout out to Boo. Rest in peace to Coach Moore. He the one who anchored me. I want to say thanks, Coach Moore, for everything he has done for me, because he was key for my career. If you're in the need of moving, I do own a moving company in Richmond. We work worldwide, nationwide, and it's called Boomers Transitions. You can go to boomerstransitions.com, learn more about my company. We've been voted #1 2 years in a row for senior transitional companies in the state of Virginia. We're about to franchise my company into Las Vegas. So if you know anybody that's moving and there's that's a plug, follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook as well. So, like I said, thank y'all again for having me. Again, like I said, I just wanted to come up here and let people know, because I see a lot of bias when we talk about stuff. And, I just think a lot of people people are not knowledgeable. So I wanted to let people know the truth about the game and who should be really where they should be. If you're going to go by, to say, the best all-time players in the Peninsula District, you can't be biased by doing that. You have to be legit, be real. So that was my main thing. So, everybody on that top 25, respect to y'all. Y'all deserve it. Everybody in the top 10 that I picked, I feel that definitely deserved it. That my top 10, I feel, to me, matters because I played the game. And I ain't biased. I'm not going to lean toward this person because they from Hampton, or this person from Newport News because I'm from Newport News. I'm not doing that. I'm just going by just saying the numbers. So hopefully, I respect all those players. And again, thank y'all for having me up here and just, taking the time out, wanting to interview me, to tell my story. So I really going to support you guys. I'm definitely going to shout y'all out on social media, tell people about y'all, and get y'all, some more viewers and subscribers. And you definitely gained a fan with me. You definitely gained a fan of me.
That's big, man. Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that, man. It's an honor to have you on, man. And me and you share similar stories with Coach Moore, man. Coach Moore was my mentor as a coach, like got me steered in the right direction to be the coach that I am today. Man, I definitely wouldn't be here. There would be no Coach Stretch show if it wasn't for Coach Moore. Put me in the right direction. So he definitely saved my life a couple times. Just knowing him on the level that I do know him, like I know we had a couple of conversations about you. He was extremely proud of you. Well, he is.
Yeah.
Extremely proud of you.
Yeah.
So I definitely wanted to say that before we get out of here, man. Any closing remarks, Statman?
Shout out to everybody who watched. Elton, thanks for coming on, dog. Appreciate you.
It. Appreciate it, my guy.
Bree, love y'all. All the people who support, love y'all. And Boomers Transitions, y'all. If y'all moving, y'all go holler at my guy. Help him out.
Holler at us.
Big Dog Mike.
Oh,
Big Dog.
Yeah, shout out to you, Elton, man, for coming. Like I said, you could be anywhere. You definitely came on the show. I love your transparency, man. You kept it 100. So I definitely appreciate your candor, man, because you don't really find a lot of guests that's gonna do that. And you kept it 100. You kept it real. You totally just gonna keep it real, man. And I definitely appreciate that, man. Definitely. And it was also good to meet you, bro. For real. Also good to meet you.
It was an honor to meet you too, my guy. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Next time you down this way, man, let's go get some lunch, man.
Talk about some Booker T days, man. Yeah, absolutely, man. You my guy. You are my guy. We definitely got to link up. Hey, when we get off this, ping me your information and stuff. You know what I mean? So
no doubt.
All y'all, but all three of y'all, hit me y'all stuff, man. I definitely like to chop it up with y'all. If y'all ever need me for anything, man. Just let me know, man. Just let me know.
And we'll definitely have you on again.
You, dog. Moffitt wanted me to tell you what's up, Elton.
My God. Tell her I said what's up, my guy.
Got you.
Yeah, man. We'll definitely have you back on, man, when we get into season 2, man. Like I said, we're gonna do girls all decade team. So we definitely gonna be inquiring on your input and your wisdom onto where some of these guys should land and some of these guys who got to go. So with that being said, This is Coach Stretch, man. Be relentless in all that you do and trust your grind. That man, Big Mike, Elton. It was an honor. See you guys next time. We out.
Peace.